Hello, everyone. It's Christmas Eve 2025, and I made some cute little boxes to give money in this year because I just didn't get shopping done. So I wanted to show these to you. I showed them at class, and the girls thought they were really cute. There's a little sleeve on the outside, and then inside there's a little box. And inside that box, there are 4 of these little pieces that you'll see what they do. The box just slides together. I'm going to put money in between those little pieces, so when they open it, this is what's going to happen. The boxes fly out. This is kind of an old thing that's been around for quite a while, but I just can't get enough of them. I thought they were so cute. You just fold them flat. There's a little rubber band inside there. Squeeze them shut, put them inside, and they just slide right inside the little box. So cute. I have tags that I did with the Stampin' Up! Tag dies. There's a couple other designs that I did. We're going to get these out of the way. And this is so much fun, so we're going to do it one more time just to show what it does. So the best thing to do, there's a little thumb hole here. You'll see that later. They just pop right out when you open the box. Inside, because this is a white box, I did a colored piece in the bottom. Again, you're just going to fold it shut like so. I put pieces of DSP on the outside of all the boxes, squish them shut, and they go right inside in the box, and the box slides inside the sleeve. And then, just as I did with this one, I'm going to put a bow on the outside and hook the name tag on. All right, let's get to it. I'll show you how this thing was made. I'm going to leave this right here for a second so you can get a screenshot of it, so you have your dimensions. And I'll show it again later, and I'll go over the dimensions as we go. The box itself is 7 7/8 by 5 1/8, and then we just score it on all 4 sides at 1 inch. The sleeve that goes around the outside is 9 1/8 by 5 7/8, and there's a bunch of score marks on that, all along the long side. And then the box part is 8 1/4 by 7 1/2, and you'll need 2 of those for each of the boxes. I did 4 pop-up boxes, so I needed 8 pieces. And once again, I'll hold this down so you can take a screenshot if you'd like. Right there. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you, this is what the little inside box part looks like. I'm going to take my scissors, and with the snips, I'm just going to cut in each of these little lines up to the score mark. And you can see the score marks pretty well on this, I think. And I'm just going to cut a little piece of pie out of that corner there. I'm going to do that on all 4 of these on the long side. And you'll see this goes together pretty quickly. And then all you do is fold it up. Fold all your score lines. And I probably should have got another glue. See if this one has any in it. Oh, we're good. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on each corner and fold it in. And you'll be able to line up the inside of your box right there with the long side. just like that. Flip it around, do the same thing on the other end. And there you have the bottom part of your box. That's the easy part. Set that aside, and then we'll go to the top of the box, the sleeve part, which is this long, skinny one. Let's put my glue back so it comes out for me when I need it again. Get rid of a few snippets, and then I'm going to use my scoreboard. If you don't have that, you can use your regular cutter. I don't know why this thing keeps zooming in and out, but the scoreboard will make it much easier if you have that. So you're just going to lay this in the corner up to the top, and then on your score, let's put this up here so we can see it. You're going to score the sleeve at 1 1/8, 4 3/8, 5 1/2, and 8 3/4. And this is the top. So you've got 1 1/8. Let me go with the smaller end. 1 1/8, 4 3/8, 5 1/2, and 8 3/4. So that'll give you a 1/4 of an inch at the end. You're just going to fold all of your score lines. And then all you'll do is put some glue along this line on the 1/4 inch side. You just need a little bit. Don't go crazy. And line it up. And that's all there is to the sleeve. Very easy. And then when you're done, this will slide right in there perfectly. Now, I'm going to show you the bottom. Do I have another bottom, or was that the only bottom I had? Here we go. I think this is the bottom. The box part, 7 7/8. Yep, that's it. So with this, it was 7 7/8 by 5 1/8. And you literally only score at 1 inch the whole way around. So you're going to do an inch, oops, jumped off my track there, an inch, and another inch the whole way around. And that's what we did earlier. And then what you want to do before, if you remember to do it before, it's a little easier. You take your 1 inch hole punch and go in, center it, just eyeball it about halfway down your circle, and cut both of your sides. You don't have to be super even. You're not going to really see them both at the same time. If you put it together first, it's really a good enough size for a little thumb hole if you just stick your 1 inch punch in there. And you end up with your little thumb hole for both of them. So there you go. That was the easy part, like I said. Get rid of some crumbs here and my hole punch because I don't need that anymore. And now the tricky part. So these are the pop box cards. We're 8 1/4 by 7 1/2. And along the long line, we're going to score each of these First one is at 2 3/4 and at 5 1/2 along the long side. And you're going to flip it around to the short side, and you're going to go 2 3/4 again, 3 1/2, 4 1/4, and 7. If you're using the scoreboard, it makes it easy because you can put the little markers in there. And that's what you're going to get. Now, I did mark it on a white one so you can see. It's the same exact thing as what I did. So this shows where the X's are is what you're going to cut out. So let me get rid of my little scoreboard here. And if you're good and confident with your cutting blade tool, you can use that. If you want, you can use scissors. I will say you have to be pretty precise with this. The more precise you are with it, the better the box is going to turn out in the end. So what I did, and I think you can see my score lines, I just took my blade and poked it in at that first cross section there is where you want your blade to go. So that would be right here. Or you're just going to cut up from here to here and do that on both sides. So I'm going to do it again. I actually like to start at the top and come down when I'm doing it that way. And then you're going to cut at the second score line and cut off that little tab piece. So you'll have this that comes out that you'll discard. And the same with this one. Getting rid of that. So this is what you end up being left with. Okay? This is cut up, and so is this one. Then while I'm using my tool here, I'm going to take and cut. Let's do this one first. It's easier. From this score line to that score line. So on the white one, you can see you're going from here to there, and you're just going to cut both of those corners off. So I'm going to line it up on here, give it a little cut. Same thing with this one. Give it a little cut. And that's what I end up with. I'm going to have to do 2 of these so I can show you how to put the box together. So let's score another one. Bring the scoreboard back in. And again, we've got on the long side 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. Turn it around, and you're going to do 2 3/4 again, 3 1/2, 4 1/4, and 7. There you go. So we'll get rid of the scoreboard for one last time. And we're going to cut this once again. Just refresh your memory on what we did. So you're going to go right here where your first score line goes across. That's where you're going to start, and you're going to come the whole way down. Do the same thing with this one. Like I said, you can also use your scissors, but try to be pretty precise. And then at the second score line down, you're going to cut off the little tab. And this one as well. Then you're going to cut your corners off. Just put the end of your score line right on the track if you're using the cutting blade. Turn it around and do the same thing on this side. And now you have two that are identical. We can get rid of this cutter now. Don't need it anymore. Okay, so the fun part begins. This is where you want to do a valley fold on all of these lines right here on this long tab. You're going to just fold them like they're a valley. You're going to fold the sides in as well, like that. These little flaps will go back, so the opposite direction. So you can see they go down. I'm going to take my snips here and this one I'm going to fold up. See if I can remember how to do this. Okay, so this does go this way. Sorry about that. Then you're just going to take your finger, and what I like to do is put it right here on this crease, right at the point of the triangle. See if you can see this better if I do it this way. Right on the point of the triangle, and you're just going to fold this down like that. Does that make sense? So this piece is folded up. I'll do it on the other side so you can see again. Put your finger there. And I like to hold this flat piece to give it a little push. So you just push it in till it lines up with the line right there and give it a nice score. I'm going to go down with my bone folder and give it a nice crease. Okay, that's pretty much it. Let's do that to this one, and then we'll do all our cuts. So you're going to fold these up. Fold these up as well. Then you're going to take this and fold it in. Everything gets folded in. Okay, now this one is where you want to put your finger right there at that corner and pull your flap in like that. Get the crease. Do this side same way. Give it a little push. Can you see how that's folding? Bring it in, line it up with the end, and crease it really well. So now you have two of these. They'll fold in like this. So what I'm going to do is cut off these little ears here. I'm going to just take my snips and cut off that corner. Do the same thing to this side. I'm going to take and just cut a tiny sliver off of this end piece on both sides, just to give it a little bit of an angle for when it folds in. And then this one, you want it to be kind of even with this. So I'm just going to, you can mark it with your pencil if you want. I'm just going to take my fingernail and just put a little line there so I can see it. And I'm going to cut it from there approximately clear to the corner. I'm just going to guess on this one because it'll be about the same. And then you can tell if you got it. If you got it right when you fold this in, if you're not overlapping, you're good. If you're overlapping, you just need to take a little bit more off because this is the pop-up part. So when it pops up, you don't want it to catch. And that's what you end up with. We'll do it one more time with the other one if you want to follow along. If you don't want to follow along, you can just zip forward. So I'm going to just cut the little piece of pie wedge off the corners. Just like that. We'll cut off these little ears. And we'll do that on both of these. And then this is the one that you want to cut at an angle. So now that I got it, you can kind of see if you follow. Let's get this out of the way so you can see a little better. If you follow straight from here, that's the angle you want. So I'm just going to eyeball that and cut off both of the pieces. And then we'll fold it in just to make sure. Yep, that's perfect on that side. That one's good too. So that's what you end up with. So that's the other half of your box. Okay, get rid of some of our snippets. All right, now, this is the fun part. You're going to take your rubber band. I usually give it a nice stretch first just to get it moving. And you're going to slip it so that it's over this piece that you cut out here in the middle. Then you're going to take this piece and lay it in the same direction. We're going to take our glue again. And line these up. And hold it down for just a sec here. Okay. Then you're going to take the rubber band. This is the tricky part. Put it through there, and that's what you end up with. And you think, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? So you're going to need something kind of heavy. What I want you to do is take these pieces, see how they're folded right there, that half and this half, and hold these little things down with your thumb and just pull them apart like that and hold it down. So you've got the rubber band in the middle, and it's going to go crazy if you let it go. So you can take something heavy, I think this might work, and lay it on this half while you glue this other half. Make sure that you hold that down. You need 12 fingers for this. Put some glue on this one, and then we're going to put some glue on this little tab. Okay, then we're going to fold this piece in. I just stuck my finger right in the glue. Fold this piece in and hold it down for a second until it sticks. Okay, then I'll put this on this side to hold that down, and we'll do the same thing to this other piece. So you're going to put glue on this side and glue on this little tab. This one's easier. Maybe it's because the direction it's in. I'm not sure. And squish it down. And hold on to it for a second. Now you're still left with this other little tab here. This one. So what I want to do is take a little bit of glue and put on that tab. And then I'm going to open the box gently and slide this in. What you want to do is make sure that you get underneath the little piece that's in there. I did that one time where it got stuck and I had to go in. So this little piece that folds down right here, you just want to make sure that you get under that so that when it goes to pop up, it pops up well. So I'm going to hold that for a second, put my glue back. And this is where, if you want to, you can cut out your 4 squares for each of your boxes. I'd say these are 2 3/4 panels, so you want to cut a 2.5 inch square of Designer Series paper for each of these. I also cut one for the front of this, which was about 1/4 of an inch shy. So this is about 5.5 by 2 3/4, give or take. You can measure yours and see what you decide. But that's about what I did for these boxes. Okay, and this is where the magic happens. I'm going to let go and see what happens. And it pops right up. So you can see that this is how it squeezes. So you squeeze it flat, and that's where you'll apply your DSP to all 4 sides. And then when you put it in the box, I'm going to pretend that this box matches, even though it doesn't. You're going to slide it in there, and when you pull it out, it'll pop up and pop right out of the box. Aren't they fun? I really like them. I think they're really cute. We'll show you this one more time. And you might tell the people to pull it quickly, and out they pop. Love it. I hope they like it because I'm not a fan of giving money for Christmas. So I thought I'd spruce my gift up a little bit by giving them something a little bit unexpected. Squeeze them back together and slide them right back in the little box. So cute. I hope you enjoyed this project, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas tomorrow and you get to spend some time with your family and friends. I'll be thinking about those that I can't be with this year or that aren't with us anymore. And I'll be thinking about you guys too. Enjoy your holiday. Bye.